What if I told you that everything you've been taught about achieving your deepest desires is a lie? That the endless hustle, the constant struggle, and the sacrifices that leave you drained and empty are precisely what's pushing your dreams further away? Are you tired of fighting a battle against life itself, only to watch what you want most slip through your fingers the harder you grasp? You've been conditioned to believe that the path to success is paved with relentless effort, that to rest is to fail, and that to trust is to be a fool. This is the spiritual poison we've all been fed, and it's the source of your anxiety, your chaos, and your feeling of being completely stuck. But there is a profound and powerful secret, a paradox hidden in plain sight, understood by one of the greatest explorers of the human soul, Carl Jung. He knew that what you resist persists. He knew that the universe doesn't respond to your struggle, it responds to your surrender. And in this video, I am going to show you how to unlock this power. You will discover how the simple act of relaxing, of letting go, is not an act of giving up, but the ultimate act of aligning your very energy with the forces of creation, forcing the universe to conspire in your favor and deliver everything you seek directly to you, without the fight. This is a universal truth that is changing lives across the globe, and I want to see just how far this wisdom has spread. Do me a favor right now and pause to comment below with the city or country you're watching from. Let's see the global family we are building here, united by these powerful teachings. And while you're down there, I need to ask you something important. A shocking number of people who find life-changing value in these videos are not actually subscribed, and they risk missing out on future revelations that could be the key to their next breakthrough. If you feel any connection to this message, take 1 second to hit that subscribe button and click the like button. It's a simple action that tells the universe you are ready to receive, and it ensures you won't miss the next piece of the puzzle on your journey with us. Now, prepare yourself, because those rare moments in your life when things just fell into place, when that answer arrived or that perfect opportunity materialized out of thin air right after you finally gave up forcing it, those were not coincidences. That was you tapping into the most powerful law of reality. And today you are going to learn how to wield that power intentionally. This is because there is a greater intelligence operating silently in every detail of life. An intelligence that does not respond to anxiety or rigidity, but to harmony. When you are at peace with yourself, when you release the shackles of haste and control, this intelligence begins to work in your favor. And no, this doesn't mean you shouldn't act. It means that your action comes from a much more aligned, much clearer, much more powerful place. It's the difference between rowing against the current, using all your energy, and simply adjusting the sails, allowing the right wind to take you exactly where you want to go. This is the invitation that Jung makes to us, and it is also the invitation that life itself whispers to us whenever we stop to listen. It's curious to notice how our mind, in its attempt to protect, control, and guarantee results, ends up becoming the biggest creator of the very blockages we so desperately want to avoid. When we desire something with great intensity, it's natural for that urge to make it happen at any cost, to arise, to speed up the processes, to tighten the gears of life, in the hope that it will respond to us more quickly. But in practice, this excess of wanting generates tension. And where there is tension, there is resistance. Anxiety disguised as productivity begins to take over. Thoughts become circular, repetitive, as if we were trapped inside a maze with no exit, where all we can see are obstacles, difficulties, and the suffocating feeling that nothing is moving. And the more we try to force our way out, the more it seems the universe itself puts us back in the same spot, as if insistently telling us that this is not the way. And here comes one of the greatest teachings of depth psychology. When you are in a state of resistance, you not only close the doors to what you desire, but you also disconnect from your own intuition, from your ability to perceive the subtle signs that life constantly sends you. Jung calls this synchronicity, those events that at first glance seem like coincidences, but which are in fact perfect manifestations of an invisible alignment between your inner and outer worlds. But this alignment only becomes possible when you move out of a state of tension and into a state of presence, when you let go of the need to control every detail and allow the unknown to also participate in the process. Because no matter how much your mind tries to predict, calculate, and plan all the steps, it will never be able to comprehend the complexity, the depth, and the wisdom that govern the movements of life. And it is precisely at this point that one of the biggest turning points occurs. When you understand that it's not about running faster, nor about striving to the limit, but rather about adjusting your vibration, your internal state, something begins to change in an almost imperceptible but profoundly real way. Suddenly, the answers that once seemed so distant begin to appear. The opportunities that seemed locked begin to unlock. And it's not because you gave up, nor because you became complacent. It's because you finally moved out of the field of resistance and into the field of permission. You stopped being an exhausted fighter who battles with life itself and transformed into someone who walks alongside it, who understands the timing of things, who trusts the processes, and who realizes that there is a much more intelligent, much lighter, and infinitely more powerful flow operating in everything. And when you learn to align with this flow, everything, absolutely everything, begins to make sense. Perhaps the most challenging part of this process is precisely learning to let go. Because letting go most of the time is confused with giving up, with relinquishing, with settling. But in reality, letting go is one of the most powerful acts anyone can practice. It is the opposite of giving up. To let go is to trust so much in life, to trust so much in yourself and in your own path, that there is no more room for despair, for haste, or for anxiety. It's as if you internally say to yourself and to the universe, I am ready, I am available. I know that everything that is mine is already on its way, at the right time, in the right way, in the most aligned form possible. And in that instant, something changes, because the energy you emit no longer comes from lack, nor from scarcity, nor from fear. It begins to come from abundance, from confidence, from the silent certainty that everything is exactly where it should be. But of course, the mind doesn't like this. It has been trained, conditioned, and programmed to believe that it is only possible to achieve through control, rigidity, and pressure. That's why it resists. It wants to accelerate. It wants immediate answers. It wants to guarantee, predict, anticipate, and in its eagerness to control the future, it disconnects from the present. And it is precisely in the present where everything happens. Life doesn't manifest tomorrow, nor later, nor in a maybe. Life only manifests in the now. And while you are trapped in the illusion that you will only be happy when that thing happens, when that desire is fulfilled, you miss the beauty, the opportunities, and even the signs that are available right here, in this exact moment, showing you that the path is already opening, even if you don't realize it yet. Jung deeply understood this paradox. For him, the more a person resists, the more what they desire moves away, because resistance creates a field of tension, and everything that is tense gets stuck, paralyzes, blocks. But when you relax, when you allow, when you let go, what was stuck slowly begins to unfold. And sometimes things start to flow in such a natural, light, and spontaneous way that your own mind is surprised, because it starts to realize that it didn't have to be so difficult, that maybe it never was, and that the difficulty only existed because it was fighting against a flow that, in reality, always wanted to take you exactly where you desired to go. When you begin to understand, and more than that, to feel in your own skin that you no longer need to fight against the current, something inside you calms down in a way you may have never experienced before. It's as if suddenly, all that need to prove something, to chase after things, to wear yourself out trying to control the uncontrollable, simply loses its meaning. And in this space where fear gives way to confidence, where anxiety gives way to presence, you realize that there is a much greater intelligence guiding all the processes of life. An intelligence that knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and in what way it should come to you. But it can only operate when you allow it, when you relax, when you get out of the way and stop being your own obstacle. And here something very curious happens. Because the more you relax, the more you realize that what you so desired is not a fixed point in the future. It's not something distant. It's not a prize you only receive after going through 1,000 trials. In fact, what you seek begins to manifest in your reality progressively, gradually, almost as if it were being drawn piece by piece, while you simply live, breathe, allow, and move forward. It's that opportunity that appears out of nowhere, that unexpected encounter, that idea that sprouts in your mind when you least expect it, that solution that seemed impossible and suddenly appears simple and obvious, as if it had always been there, just waiting for you to be in the right state to see it. And the most fascinating thing is that in this state of surrender, of confidence, of conscious relaxation, you don't stop acting. You continue to move, you continue to make decisions, you continue to take steps. But these steps no longer come from desperation. They are no longer born from fear, from lack, or from haste. They come from a much more aligned place, from a place where your mind, your heart, and your intuition work together. And when this happens, your energy changes completely. And when your energy changes, your reality responds. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you vibrate. And if your vibration is one of tension, of anxiety, of lack, it gives you back more situations that reinforce exactly that. But if your vibration is one of confidence, of lightness, of permission, it delivers experiences that reflect this new frequency. And this is where the magic happens. When you actually start living in this state of confidence, you realize that relaxing doesn't just mean stopping physically or mentally. To relax is, above all, an internal state. It's when you stop carrying the weight of expectations, of constant pressure, of fear of the future, and the need to control everything on your back. It's when you consciously choose to walk more lightly. And in this walk, you reconnect with something that is much deeper, much truer, and that had often been forgotten in the midst of the mind's noise, your own essence. Because deep down, your essence was never anxious, never insecure, never lived in scarcity. Your essence knows that life flows, that everything has its right time, that everything unfolds naturally when you allow it. And it is precisely when you reconnect with this essence that the movements of life begin to make sense. Things that once seemed like insurmountable obstacles are now seen as part of the path, not as a blockage, but as steps that strengthen you, that prepare you, that shape you. And upon realizing this, anxiety loses its power, because you understand on a much deeper level that what you desire no longer depends on forcing, on accelerating, on pressing. It depends on you aligning yourself. It depends on you vibrating at the same frequency as what you want to attract. And when you do that, when you truly relax, you realize that it's not you who chases after things. It is life that begins to deliver to you what is yours by right. And it does so in ways you could never plan. This understanding, which seems so subtle, is capable of transforming your entire life. Because you stop wearing yourself out trying to push open doors that are not yet ready to open. You understand that sometimes it's not the right moment. Sometimes life is arranging other pieces, other encounters, other connections that are not yet ready, but are on their way. And in this interval, you no longer need to suffer, nor be distressed, nor live in tension. You learn to trust the invisible in what is being prepared behind the scenes of the universe. And this trust is not blind, it is not passive, it is not naive. It is an active, living, present trust. It is that silent certainty that needs no external guarantees because it comes from within. It comes from the connection with something greater, with something that has somehow always been guiding you, even when you didn't notice. And as you delve deeper into this understanding, something even more powerful begins to happen. You notice that the very quality of your thoughts changes. Those thoughts that were once laden with worry, fear, and insecurity now give way to softer, clearer thoughts, more aligned with what you truly want to experience. And in this new mental state, you begin to realize that life has always given you signs. Always. But when you were immersed in the noise of anxiety and haste, It was impossible to hear them. And now, in this state of conscious relaxation, these signs become so clear, so evident, that it's almost as if life begins to speak to you directly, without beating around the bush, showing you at every step that yes, you are on the right path. This new perception inevitably leads you to a reunion with yourself. Because when you let go, when you relax, when you allow life to flow, you stop identifying only with your momentary wants, with your immediate desires, with your fleeting needs. And you begin to realize that often what you thought you wanted wasn't exactly what your soul needed, and that the true desire, the one that comes from your essence, the one that fills you completely, can only be recognized when you silence the noise of the mind. It is in this internal silence that clarity arises. It is in this silence that you reconnect with your intuition. And your intuition, unlike the mind, does not generate anxiety, does not generate doubt, does not generate tension. It simply shows. It simply feels. And when you start to follow this feeling, life opens up in ways that logic could never understand. And curiously, it is in this state of relaxation, of trust, and of alignment that you become a magnet, a natural magnet for everything that is on the same frequency as your peace, your truth, your expansion. The right people begin to appear, the right opportunities begin to manifest, the right doors begin to open one after another, without forced effort, without exhaustion, without that grueling struggle that for so long you believed was necessary. And more than that, you begin to notice that what no longer aligns with you simply dissolves, moves away, falls apart, without pain, without conflict, without resistance. Because when you are aligned, that which does not vibrate on the same frequency can no longer remain. And this is not rejection or loss. It is simply life in a loving and intelligent way, showing you that you are now ready for something much greater, much truer, much lighter. And it is at this point that everything is reframed. Because when you understand in a real, and not just theoretical way, that to relax is not to settle, not to give up, not to abandon your dreams, but rather to create the necessary space for them to flourish, everything changes. Your relationship with time changes. Your relationship with desire changes. Your relationship with yourself changes. And naturally, without forced effort, you begin to notice that things start to happen, not because you are chasing after them, but because you have become magnetic, because your energy no longer vibrates at the frequency of lack, of demand, or of haste. It vibrates at the frequency of confidence, of abundance, and of the silent certainty that everything is organizing itself exactly as it should. This is where one of the greatest lessons Carl Jung left for the world comes in. He said that what you resist persists. And this is exactly what you begin to notice in practice. The more you force, the more you fight against, the more you struggle internally, the more what you desire seems to escape, to hide, to move away, because resistance creates tension, and tension blocks the natural flow of life. But the moment you let go, accept, allow, trust, what seemed impossible begins to happen. Things begin to fall into place, answers begin to emerge, opportunities begin to appear, and not because you are wearing yourself out, but precisely because you stopped wearing yourself out. And perhaps this is one of the greatest discoveries any human being can make in their lifetime, that it is not brute force, not obsessive control, not anxiety disguised as productivity that gets you where you want to go. It is alignment, it is lightness, it is conscious relaxation, it is intelligent surrender, it is trust in the invisible, in what you do not yet see, but feel. Because deep down, it is when you fully trust, when you truly let go, that life shows you it always knew exactly how to guide you, and that everything you were seeking on the outside was, in fact, always available. It was just waiting for you to be in the right state to receive it. And so, you now hold the secret. The reality you seek is not something you must chase. It is a reflection of who you are, and it is already looking for you. The only thing standing in the way was never distance, or time, or your worthiness. It was simply the tension of your resistance. Today, you learned to release it. You learned that life's intelligence responds not to demands, but to the silent, courageous surrender of trust. By choosing to say, "I allow," you are no longer just a person in the world. You have become a conscious creator of your reality. The change begins within you, and that changes everything. This is the synchrony Carl Jung spoke of. Those moments of effortless alignment are not a lucky coincidence. They are your natural state. And now, you have the key to return to it. As your first act of stepping into this new power, I want you to go to the comments right now and type 2 simple but transformative words. I allow. This isn't just a comment. It's a declaration to yourself and to the universe. It is the signal that you are done fighting. You are ready to receive. As you type that, know that this is just the beginning. If this video resonated with the deepest part of you, then I invite you, Guillaume, to join our community. A staggering number of people who watch these videos and feel a shift are not subscribed, and they miss out on the next step of their awakening. Don't let an algorithm decide when you get your next breakthrough. Take a moment to subscribe, turn on notifications, and press the like button to anchor this new, powerful frequency within you. By doing so, you ensure you are here for what comes next. Because what we've unlocked today is only the first door. Soon, we will go even deeper. We will explore the hidden parts of the psyche that, once integrated, can turn you into a true master of your own destiny. Remember this: what is yours doesn't come when you run faster. It arrives when you become still enough to let it find you. Stop fighting against time. Stop chasing. Become the magnet, and watch as the entire universe rearranges itself to bring you everything that is already yours.